Hi friends, welcome back to Art Tutorials. We are continuing with our Angular 9 full tutorial series, and in today's episode we are going to learn about how to execute, how to run unit tests in Angular. We have seen in the previous episodes about some fundamental concepts about Angular testing and the frameworks that are supported by Angular. In the previous episode we did learn about some few concepts like how to identify a unit test file, how to identify end-to-end test file, where are the different configuration files, etc. So make sure you have checked it out the previous video in order to have a continuation of your learning. Welcome back. My name is Sridhar. I have over 10 years of experience as a full stack developer. I'm here to share my knowledge with you all. I'm also here to learn from you all. So during the course of this tutorial series, if you have any doubts, any queries on the code samples or the explanations covered in this tutorial or in the series, please do let me know. I'll be happy to help you. I'm putting in a lot of hard work in bringing these tutorials for you, so I'll really appreciate if you can support me by subscribing to my channel and liking the videos. Thank you in advance. This is part of the Angular 9 full tutorial playlist where we have now close to 66 tutorials which are covering from basic introduction to the advanced concepts. Make sure you check out the link. The link is in the description box below if you really want to learn and master Angular 9. So we are covering this mini series on Angular testing, where today we'll learn about running and executing unit tests. Like I said, the focus of this mini series is only about the Angular testing utilities. I will soon be starting a new course where I will cover end-to-end Angular testing, unit testing, writing with protractor, Jasmine, Karma. In order that would be more technical, in depth. So wait for that and watch out and stay tuned for that. So today's topic is about how to run unit tests. So unit testing is a type of testing where the focus of the test is to test a particular small piece of the application. The test is usually good when you're testing a smaller pieces like components, modules, services, pipes, etc. This allows us to test that particular feature only, right? That particular functionality only. So we are not worried about the big picture here. We are only worried about running the individual pieces. Angular has a native support for testing unit tests, and in the previous episode we have seen that you can identify a particular unit test when it ends with .spec.ts file. So today we will see how to run them, how to see the output, how to configure them. So let's get started. I will open up the browser, and these are the notes from the last episode we made on Angular testing. Make sure you have gone through it. Just to give you a high level recap, unit test will always end with .spec.ts. End to end will end with .e2e-spec.ts, right? So you can see there would be so many spec files in your app. With these are all the unit tests because it's inside the app folder. But E2E will be at the one root level up above source under E2E. So we'll see that learn how to execute in the next episode. Today we are focusing on unit test. So let's navigate to the project folder. Once you are here, now the command we'll run to execute our unit tests is the command we will run to execute our unit tests is ng space test. Ng space test will run your unit tests, right? So I have mentioned it here to execute our unit test. So remember, to run our unit test, we'll write ng space test. Hit enter, and you will see that it will first compile, right? The application will first compile to check if there are any errors for compile for errors, and then will execute the unit tests. It's building, it will compile, and you will see that it will open up a new window. I will explain that in just a bit once it loads. So it's building. In the meanwhile, if you're liking this video, give a thumbs up to the video. All right, so if you see here, it says Karma server started, right? So carefully note it. It says Karma server started, right? Karma server started, it said, and it gave a port number, right? Gave a port number that is 9876. That's the default, right? So let me show you at the top first. That's okay. You will see errors. You're bound to see that. If you don't see, then it's a problem. Okay. So karma is the runner, right? All our all our test scripts are written in Jasmine. Remember, this is extremely important information, always asked in your interviews. Okay. So make sure you understand this concept really, really well, right? So unit testing, unit tests. I'll make some notes here for you quickly. This has a lot of information, so I'm taking time to write it down all for you. Please make sure you follow this correctly. Now, all the tests are written in Jasmine. All the unit tests are executed or run using Karma. So Karma is a runner, right? Your test script runner, test scripts runner. Okay. The default port where it executes is 9876. That's the default port number that all unit test runs on. All right. And we know that to run unit tests, we will use the command ng space test, right? And what it will do is the application will be compiled when you run this, right? And let me quickly clean it up. Okay, now it's clean. To run the unit test, we will use the command ng test, and then the application will first compile for any errors, okay, and then we'll execute the unit tests. All our unit tests are written in Jasmine framework, which is nothing but a BDD framework, right? BDD, that is behavior driven development. All our tests are executed, right? Karma is a kind of star, which is used to execute the tests, right? The default port that it runs is 9876, right? Now let me show you that. So see, this is the, now let me show you that how to run it. Okay. So once you have done it, it will give you this report that it has failed or it has started or it has not started. So let me close this again and show you that. So I'm going to do ng test and we'll see that it will give you the output. Let it run for a while. Again, let's build it. In the meanwhile, make sure you are going through the notes, understanding it correctly. If you're liking the video, hit the like button. Okay. All right. So let it build. So it opens up this runner. Can you see that 9876 is the default port? It opens up a new window automatically and it says Chrome is controlled by automated test software. So it's executing the test in the background. You can see here. You can see it here. It's executing. It started the browser. Now it's executing. Right? It will give you the output now. Let's wait for it. So now, importantly, let's understand this for a bit. If you see green, that means it has passed. Right? It will open a new window. Right? Now, window of a browser. Now, let's wait here for a minute. The browsers supported are Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and IE, right? We can choose and configure which browser we want to work with. Okay, we have that freedom. Clear so far? Now that it's clear, let's move on, make some more understanding notes of it. So you see this is the output. Now when you take the mouse over this green bullets, that means green bullet in the report means the test has passed, right? Red color X mark X mark means the test has failed. Okay, that is what this means. So if you see this report, it says this has passed, this has here it has failed one, and you can see the count here, right? So it says total. You can in the line, in the summary line, we can see counts of total test specs, failed, passed, and skipped, right? So we can see here that it has 27 total test specs, 10 has failed, right? And it will give you the failure report with the root cause, right? Why it has failed, it will give you that root cause, right? And you can see here it is running Karma version 5.5. So, and it is running Jasmine 3.5, right? So you can see this is the report that you will get when you run ng test, right? I hope it's clear so far. I hope there are no doubts. Do not worry about do not worry about failed test cases now. I will soon um, soon share tutorials on how to fix the test scripts. Okay, so don't worry about that for now. For now, all you have to focus is on the unit testing using the tools and the utilities. So till so far, I think it's all clear to you and you know how to see, how to run, how to see, and how to analyze this report. Now that you have done it, now let's see some options, right? So what are the different options we can use? So I told you we can configure the browser, we can configure the code coverage, we can configure the port, we can configure the environment that we have, right? So let's see that now quickly, right? So I told you the configuration file for unit tests is under source slash karma slash conf dot js file. Okay, so let's go and explore that file. So we have the file here, right? So you see here now this line here we are saying karma chrome launcher. So in this is using chrome, right? If we want to use, right, if we want to use Firefox or Safari or any browser, we need to import that library. Okay, and how do we do that? We do that by saying we copy this, paste it here, and say karma Firefox launcher. So this will use Firefox. Similarly, if you want to use Safari, you will have to install this, right? Once you have done it, you do a npm install after this, and it will install the libraries, right? It will install the required modules. So far clear? So we are saying we know how to configure the browser. Now the next thing, here you see the port number. The default is always 9876. That is what we learned here, right? So we can change the default port in karma.conf.js file, right? You can give any port that you wanted to run here. Similarly, you will have to add here Firefox, which all browsers it has to run, right? So here you will write Firefox if you want to run it in Firefox, right? Which all browsers you want your app to run on. You can configure that list in the browsers array, right? So you can configure that also. And you can also mention progress should be true or false and those things, right? So we can pass them as params in the execution code. So I'm going to show you. We can also pass params in our CLI command itself, right? So I'm going to close this here. Okay, I'm going to close this here and I'm going to change this to 9856. You can give any port. we can give any port number we want. Okay, so there is no hurry on that. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to use only Firefox now. Okay, so I'm going to comment this line here. I'm going to comment this line here. This is to show you how to do. Okay, I'm giving you an example of how to run. You can do any browser you want. Okay, so this is the example. Let's do a hands-on on this. Okay, example. Now once we have it here, then do npm install Karma Firefox launcher, right? That's what we want. So do a npm install and you will see that it will install whatever is required. Let's give it a minute. In the meanwhile, I'll request you again, if you are liking the video, hit the like button. All right, let's give it a minute. It should be done soon because it has to get all the dependencies also that are required of that particular um, module. So let's wait for a minute. It should be done soon. So don't worry about if you get these errors of unable to issue local certificates. That's not up to that's not what we really bother about. So yeah, so let's say ng test now. So now we are starting on Firefox because I have told it that you require Karma Firefox and run it on browser's Firefox. So now it is giving me error that it cannot find the module, right? So let's install and get that module for it. Okay, so let's do that here. Let's say npm install Karma Firefox launcher. Let's give it a minute. It should find it. We should see that in our package if it's added. So we see Karma, Jasmine, Karma launcher. So we see Karma Chrome, but after this we should see a Karma Firefox launcher as well. Right? There is some issue, I believe. Let's just refresh this and see if it installed. Karma, no, it didn't install. Okay. Okay, so it installed it. Yeah. So we see Karma Firefox is launcher is there. So we are good to go. Now let's do a ng test. So earlier it did not find it. Now it should find it and it should execute it in Firefox browser. And the port number also we have configured the new port, which is now 9856. Again, like I said, you can give any port number, you can use any browser you want. That's up to you. Some people prefer Safari, IE, that's fine. It will support up to last two versions of IE. Okay, so there is some Firefox cannot is installing updates will start. So this is specific to my machine. I don't see a reason why it should not work in your machine. So make sure that whichever browser you're working, you get the point. You get to see that it will automatically open up that particular browser and it will show you output. Is running but not responding, must be closed. Close Firefox. Okay. So we see that, it is opening up and it has done um, the execution. So, but it did not open up because there was some issue with my Firefox old version. I'm sure you will not find it in your, if it's up to date. I use Chrome heavily. Uh, so let's try one more last time. So it's interesting. There are so many things that you can configure with CLI. You can do so many things with see. So now it opened up the Firefox browser and it will execute and will show the same report. It will not be different. The only difference here now is that we are using a new browser. We are using a new port number. That's all. So this is now you see here it opened up Firefox. It is now running on 9856, right? And the report is same. Only difference here now is the browser, right? So this is important when you want to run and test your application in multiple browsers, right? It's good to test It's good to test in multiple browsers, especially if you are doing responsive web apps. All right, and now let's see some of the options that we can use with the command line, right? So I'm going to show you some of the things. You can, instead of configuring in Karma, you can directly pass it also. Like you can say ng test hyphen hyphen browser equal to Chrome, right? So this is something that we can configure and say, let's check the spelling. Okay, so let's check one. Oh, okay, it's browsers. Sorry, it's browsers equal to Chrome. So hyphen hyphen browsers equal to Chrome. That's the command that we will run to launch Chrome, but then it will first check if it has that enabled or not. In our case, it may not find it, but let's see. So similarly, like how you can pass hyphen hyphen browsers, you can pass code coverage, karma, main file, configuration file if you want to pass progress equal to true or false. So these are different options that we can use with ng-test, but most of these, instead of passing it into the command line, we always configure it in karma.js, right? So you see, it says cannot load Chrome because perhaps it's missing plugin, right? Because we have commented it out here, right? So if I open it, I can have now multiple browsers, right? And now I will add here also. So now I'm enabling my app to run on Chrome and on Firefox, right? So you can pass it like this now. Now it will work again in Chrome. So you get the point. We have told them that which all browsers to run. This is that option. From CLI, we are passing it here. Here you see Chrome equal to, that's the same what is here. So these are the different options you can pass via um, the command line or using confidence. So there are different options we can pass to CLI command params. Uh, the best and good idea is to always have these settings in karma.conf.js file. Okay. However, that being said, there are times when you want to pass params to CLI command because of these reasons. Like one reason I can think of it is in the if you are running your tests in the build pipelines, right? In Bitbucket or Stash or something, it's useful if you want to pass dynamic values in the pipeline. So that's up to you basically how you want it to behave and how you want the tests to be done. Right, so this is all about unit tests that you should be knowing, my friends. In the next episode, I will cover about how to run and details about end-to-end tests. Stay tuned for that. I hope you're liking the video. If you do, please give a like to this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode.